I can't wait. I'm not even going to spoil it. I'm going to let you take over. This is all you for the next 15 minutes. Let's talk about your player. You sell me on why the Lions should take him and where they should take him. That's very important.
So we're going to be doing these breakdowns really up until the Combine and post-Combine. But the player I thought of first is one of my favorite players to watch. And I was first brought on to this player by one of my good friends who goes to the college in which he plays at. And it was about a year ago. And he's like, hey, do you know this guy? And I'll say his name in a second. I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, he's in the SEC. I had a chance to check him out, and I watched a couple of his games this year. Just not a huge fan of this specific school, but I wanted to watch him because of the position he plays, and I knew the Lions had need for a corner. I wanted to see what the chatter was about. And the more I watch this player, the more potential I see, and you start to see traits in which, you look at the Lions and you're like, man, they could use a guy like this specifically. And that player today I'm going to highlight is corner from Mississippi State, Emmanuel Forbes. And you see it right here. He's 6 foot, 180, thinner frame, but still long, rangy. I have that as one of the key traits. 6 interceptions this season. According to Pro Football Focus, all 6 of Forbes' interceptions this season were in man coverage. No other corner in college football has more than 3. So, Emmanuel Forbes, you turn on the tape, you see playmaker. The former wide receiver in high school, former wide receivers right now at corner. I'll bring a couple of them out. Tariq Woolen played wide receiver. Plays safety now, but Kirby Joseph played wide receiver. Richard Sherman, back in the day, played wide receiver. Guys that have have played wide receiver have a knack for the ball. That's how it always has been. And you see Emmanuel Forbes over his last 3 seasons. It's ridiculous to even bring this up, too. In a 3-year starter for Mississippi State, 20 passes defended, 14 picks, and 7 pick sixes. Think about that. 20 passes defended, 14 picks, and 6 pick sixes. Like, the guy's unbelievable. Now, like any other prospect, there's going to be things that you look at and you can say he needs to work on. For example, his thin frame. That's something you're going to have to talk about. But still, good size. The player I compared him to, at least watching, Marcus Peters. Playmaker, takes chances. And I think that's Forbes a little bit too when you're watching him. He's super physical at the line of scrimmage. The IQ, the football IQ. If you watch him versus Kentucky this season, you see a play, I think it was a screen pass to the running back for Kentucky, Will Levis, got the ball off quickly. Emmanuel Forbes jumps the route, pick 6, and he's gone. There's nobody within 20 yards of him. So the guy has legit playmaker skills. He probably won't be taken. His projection right now is late first, early second. So if this is a guy you might be able to get in the second round, it's great value.
Oh, difficult. You're picking at 48. In the second round. So my question to you is, are you sold on Forbes enough to take him at 18? Let's start there.
I think you can make a legitimate case for it to take him at 18. I know there was other projections that had him between 18 to 24, somewhere in that range. The corner for Buffalo, Khair Elam, I believe his name is, if I'm pronouncing that right. He was taken in the 20s. There was kind of a comparison there, but still, big playmaker. I like his physicality at the line of scrimmage, super physical, competitor. He's got that, and again, hear me out. He's got that Sauce mentality. He's not Sauce Gardner, but Sauce had that swag. He talked trash. He plays with passion. You could see it watching Emmanuel Forbes. You know who he is. Makes a big tackle. He's getting hype with his teammates. I love the emotion in which he plays with. You need that at corner. You need a dog. The Lions currently don't have that. And for a guy you don't even have to get at 6 or even 18, there's great value there. So he's one of my favorite prospects. And if I want to run through some more just stats real quick in 2022, just before we finish up, played in 11 games, contributed on 668 snaps. I'll read the stats: 36 tackles. He added 17 stops. He forced 6 pass breakups, an impressive 6 interceptions, and gave up an outstanding quarterback rating when targeted of 42.8. So good in coverage, good against the run, can get better, but still the playmaking ability is what I see. I mean, you have Kirby Joseph, you got decent corners, but you need a playmaker in the secondary. And again, this is a guy I think would help that out, and especially you bring in Dre Bly. Dre Bly, definition of a playmaker, can help coach Emmanuel Forbes. I love it. It's got good size. The frame, I think people get a little shy of 180. The guy can gain weight. He's 6 foot, so I like it. I like the length. He's got big arms, big wingspan, long legs. When he's running, he does look like Sauce in stride, because when Sauce runs, it's like he's 6'3", he's taller than Emmanuel Forbes, but still, these corners that are long and rangy, I mean, makes him even more dangerous in coverage. And you didn't see him get beat a ton. He faced Alabama, LSU for his past couple seasons in the SEC. He wasn't on too many highlight tapes, so like what I've seen out of Emmanuel
Forbes is the 5th highest rated corner coming out of this year's draft class. 4th overall in pass coverage, according to PFF. Kid's a stud. I don't have many questions. I love the Marcus Peters comp. A playmaker. That's what I want. Yeah. When we drafted Kirby Joseph last year, what was the conversation we were all having? Playmaker, ball hawk, highest coverage rated safety in all of PFF. Got him in the 3rd round. Well,
right.
That's what you want. You want playmakers. And, outside of Jeff Okudah's pick 6 against Chicago, does anybody recall a cornerback making a big-time play anywhere? It was mostly Aiden and Kirby all year.
Right.
You want playmakers at the cornerback position. Emmanuel Forbes checks those boxes. I think the only concern I have is he misses tackles.
Yep, right. That's part of it.
But I'm lining him up at corner, not in the slot.
Yeah.
I'm not lining him up anywhere other than corner 1.
Yep.
On the left or right side.
He's an outside corner.
He's an outside corner. If he's having to make a tackle, we did something wrong.
And the big thing, too, it's crazy to even think about this, but Emmanuel Forbes, as many picks and as many pick sixes as he had, teams were actually avoiding him. So they're avoiding him, and still, and like I just said, too, 20 passes defended,
Yep.
14 picks. 14. So, again, and that's the thing with guys like Emmanuel, guys that, are
Talk
playmakers.
about a 3-year starter who's only 20 years old, or 22 years old, by the way. Young. He finishes his first rookie deal, he's going to be 26, 27 years old. It's a nice age. He's played a lot of football in the SEC. Tough conference. Comes from a very good school that puts out very good pros. I like it. He had a really good game against. He had a really good game tackling against Alabama. His best cover games were against Arkansas and A&M, but he had a good game against Ole Miss, and they fling the ball around. So a good corner, 6 interceptions. He's what you want in a player, man. He's what you want. I don't think you get him at 48, though.
You'd have to probably trade up.
I think that's pick number 18, or you trade up to pick 42, 41, but
it's tough.
We'll see.
He's been mocked to, early second. So
we'll do mocks.
First.
Mocks are coming up soon for us. We'll start mocks, and I think that'll explain a lot more of what's going to go on in this draft, especially, you look at the Lions' needs. They could address them within their first 3 picks. And then you're like, well, we still have another second. You still have another third. You have a fourth. You don't have a fourth. You have a fifth. You got a lot of picks this year. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. I'm liking it. But remember what I brought up yesterday? I told you, what does Brad Holmes always do? He doubles down.
Mm-hmm.
If Emmanuel Forbes is in Brad Holmes' plans, you tell me what makes more sense. Forbes at 18 and another corner in the second round of your choice, or Witherspoon, Forbes 6 and 18.
So as much as I like Forbes, he's not the best corner, obviously, to me. So it depends who's there at 18, right? If a Cam Smith or a Christian Gonzalez.
What if I told you 6 Witherspoon?
So 6 is a corner.
6 is, let's say, Witherspoon.
Then I'm not
Forbes
taking.
is on the board at 48.
Oh, then you're doubling up.
Then you're doubling down.
Absolutely.
But you're not going to double down corners in the first round.
No.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
we're on the same page there.
Okay, good. Good list. Good. I want to go over his traits, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Long and rangy.
Yep. Pull it back up, Mike, real
very
quick.
Sauce Gardner-esque, by the way.
Yeah.
Physical at the line of scrimmage. You love to see it.
Yep.
Look, he's not Sauce, But I do like to believe if Sauce played at Mississippi State or Georgia, that he wouldn't be, quote, Sauce in terms of, he never gave up a touchdown in college. That was the big one, right?
Right,
well, Forbes got a lot of work to do in the SEC. He's going up against some of the best athletes, and I think he's ready to walk in and give you a year one 80% of what Patrick Surtain did coming out of Bama.
Right. And this big thing, too, is with Sauce, is who did he face at Cincinnati? That was always the conversation.
Yes.
With his stats.
Well, he's the exception. He came out and
then he came out and was exceptional. Even playing Alabama in the college football playoff, he was exceptional. So Emmanuel Forbes, to me, somebody that I think is going to kind of, fall a little bit on people's radars. Obviously, closer to the draft, people are going to know more about Forbes, but he's been my favorite corner to watch, no doubt. If I had to go best corners to me, I think Witherspoon still is my favorite corner of all of them, but Emmanuel Forbes is a close second. I like these two the most. If you want to go with Cam Smith, I know Christian Gonzalez. I've watched some tape of those guys, more focused on these two, Witherspoon and Forbes. Love them both. But I had to bring up Forbes because it's a guy that is not the hot commodity, the hot name in the first round, but it's somebody that closer to the draft, I'm telling you right now, he's going to rise up draft boards. We just got to get to the combine. And one thing I wanted to bring up too, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but doing my research just over the last couple weeks, I noticed his broad jump, or is either his vertical leap or his broad jump, is like, at least last when it was tested, is higher than Tariq Woolen's, and he has the record.
Wow.
Tariq Woolen has the record for I think it's the broad jump.
So we can't wait for the combine.
So the combine, Forbes is going to shoot up. I believe that. Speed, I think, is one thing. I think the last recorded 40 he ran was like 4.59. Just to give you an idea, Sean Murphy Bunting ran like a 4.45, something like that. So again, speed will get there, but still, love all those traits, man.
Brad Holmes
he's gonna slide up draft boards.
Brad Holmes has proven to me that every year he doubles down on a position of need. Corner is a position of need. Now, whether he goes out in free agency and then drafts one in the first round, okay, that would count for me. But in the draft, he takes two. And it wouldn't surprise me if at pick 6 and pick 48, you see a corner off the board. And hopefully it's Forbes at 48. Who knows?